Degree days are a commemoration of success. You've worked hard and you've achieved a degree which will have deepened your knowledge in various ways and will be the basis for many of you for a new career. So the first thing I must say is many, many congratulations on that achievement. The second thing is to say that I very much hope that you've enjoyed your time at Leeds and that you'll now always think of it as your university. I hope that you'll look out for news of us. We have ambitious plans for the future, and I know that some of you will be able to help us achieve these. You'll all be well aware that we're living in a rapidly changing world. If there's any stability in that world, it's the idea of accepting the concept of lifelong learning. That will enable you to respond to change. It will enable you both to enrich your life and provide the basis for future development, more career development. This university is now committed to a rapidly expanding programme of continuing education, both with courses on campus and delivered into workplaces. What you might also do for us is actually bring your experience of work back to the campus to help us teach on some of these courses. So one way or another, please keep in touch. I know that you'll be proud to be a Leeds graduate. On behalf of all of us in the university, congratulations again on your success and all best wishes from all of us for your future career.
This congregation is held in accordance with the Charter, statutes and ordinances of the University for the conferment of degrees and the presentation of awards. On behalf of the University, I extend a very warm welcome to the parents, partners, families and friends of our graduates. In many respects, it's your special day as well as theirs. You've supported them in different ways, from their choice to enter this university until they reach this point in their university studies. For many of you, there will have been significant financial expenditure. It's not only for that, but also for your encouragement, your confidence in them, and your moral support, that we and they thank you today. This ceremony and related celebrations are small tokens of gratitude for the contributions you've made in helping the graduates on their paths. For the graduates, this ceremony is a celebration of achievement and marks the end of a key period in your lives. We hope that it's been fun, both in the process of learning and in the many other ways you've spent your time. Higher education evermore provides a chance to interact with a wide variety of people who are eager to think, to argue, and to try out new things. I hope that those opportunities, both in study and outside, have made university a valuable formative experience for you. Life in this university will certainly have provided you with a range of friends, acquaintances, and common experiences. Pleasures in your subject have probably not been confined to traditional classroom activities, and doubtless your time here has given rise to various other experiences which will live in your memories forever. It is the experience of student life in all its richness which is important to the character of higher education in this country. Graduates, now you will take divergent paths one from another as you leave this university, and of course you will continue to learn throughout life, updating your skills and acquiring new skills for a change of direction as your careers develop. Above all, I hope that the university will have enhanced your skills for learning throughout life. And in that sense and others, I hope that we will have provided you with much more than the formal qualification that you are here to have conferred upon you. Few of you may enjoy security of employment from here to old age. That's largely a feature of the past. What you can expect to achieve is security of employability. Given the stress on the job market and living in an uncertain world of work, it's surely wise that students should be able to develop their own potential to its fullest in ways which suit them best and which are enjoyable. You will thrive most and longest as critical, adaptable, and clever people, rather than as people tutored and trained for short-term market demands. With so much continually in the news about universities and students, and particularly since the last year has seen the publication of the report of the National Inquiry into Higher Education, the Deering Report, the most significant examination of higher education in at least 3 decades, and possibly the most significant ever, I should say something about how higher education will develop in the coming years. Much of what we see in our crystal ball gazing is enormously exciting. As the Deering Report says, in the next century, the economically successful nations will be those which become learning societies, where all are committed through effective education and training to lifelong learning. But higher education is much more than about economics, and the Deering Report also says, the purpose of education is life-enhancing. It contributes to the whole quality of life. This recognition of the purpose of higher education in the development of our people, our society, and our economy is central to the vision contained within the report. One relatively new feature of academic life is certain to stay, and that's the periodic grading of our teaching and research. Under current arrangements, barely a fortnight passes during term time when a large university like this is not playing host to an external group of academic auditors, assessors, or accreditors. At least some of our graduates know full well from their recent ordeals as finalists here that the process of assessment is not terribly creative, at least not when one's at the receiving end of it, but it can be pleasing and even seem worthwhile when the results are good. And I'm proud to say that in the University of Leeds, we've been faring very well in our external assessments. In teaching quality assessments, for example, going back about 3 academic sessions, we were graded excellent in all of the assessment reports using the scale then in operation. And since then, under a new points scheme, where there are up to 24 points available, most of our academic departments have scored very highly. It's usual for us to get marks of 21 or 22, occasionally a point above, occasionally a point below. Most of the areas represented here this morning have been very highly rated by assessors, although several of the discipline areas await the joys of external teaching assessments in the university. And a word about research ratings or gradings, to say that the external assessments of the university's research are also first rate. In results published 18 months ago, the truly international quality of our work was demonstrated through about 3/4 of our staff being located in departments that were rated 4 or 5 on what is essentially a 5-point scale with 5 at the top. All the staff who've taught the students in this auditorium are researchers, active researchers, and we believe there to be very great merit in teaching in an atmosphere of research. Most staff were judged in the 1996 external exercise to be undertaking research of at least national excellence, with some of it at international excellence. Both the departments represented in this congregation performed superbly well in research. And in physics and astronomy, we have a case of small and beautiful, though of course everything's relative. What I mean by small and beautiful is that our department has a 5 rating for research and is the smallest physics department in the UK with that accolade. In both the departments here represented, we have genuine world leaders in their areas of research expertise. And that impacts directly on the quality of teaching and the approach to teaching. So that, for example, 2 of today's PhD awards will be made to former students who, with a 3rd, have already formed a company, in fact, to manufacture optical components. And our students are nothing if not versatile. One of this year's finalists before us here appeared in the TV programme Stars in Their Eyes, and another played for Scotland's under-19 rugby union team, in the 2nd row, I'm told. Looking to the future of higher education, the race is on between the higher education of the future and the university's capacity to evolve and restructure. The Deering report makes clear that there will be significant changes, for example, in who higher education is for, when it's delivered, how and where it's delivered, and what it comprises. I'll mention just a few of the sorts of changes that are imminent. With regard to who university will be for, we can, for example, expect much more stepping in and stepping out of higher education studies. And there will be an increased diversity in abilities, backgrounds, and qualifications at entry. As for when students will undertake their learning, with the emphasis switched from teaching to learning and through multimedia materials and location-independent learning, there will be greater flexibility in when folk engage formally in learning. The time of year, week, day will play less part in determining student access to learning materials. Higher education will be regarded increasingly as interruptible by family, leisure, and work. And how and where will students learn? Well, I believe that more students of all ages will remain in their home regions, and in due course, many will engage in distance forms of learning. There will be increased customization of learning with more negotiated learning contracts. And for sure, we shall be giving more explicit credit to skills of learning. There will be access to multimedia expertise from across the globe, rather than expertise largely restricted to the conventional don on campus. The traditional role of tutoring may then be changed radically as we're able to exploit the internet and other technological arrangements. Well, more of that sort of thing as we get to grips with the Deering report and with the government's white paper on lifelong learning, which was also published within the last year. Back finally to today's world and to today's graduates, some of whom will at least have already tasted some of the new developments which I've just referred. We trust that you leave us with an awareness of the changing world of work, prepared to take responsibility for your own career and personal development, and able to manage the relationship with work and with learning throughout all stages of your life. In other words, that you leave here well prepared for a lifetime of learning and development. We've been a part of your lives over the past year, several years, and we're pleased to recognize and celebrate your achievements today. You take with you our best wishes for a happy and healthy lifetime of learning. I call upon the Registrar.
The degree of Doctor of Philosophy to be presented by Professor Wren.
Mr. Pro Vice-Chancellor, I present to you for the degree of Doctor of Philosophy, Brandon Bennett. Gavin Edward Churcher. Stuart Alexander Grant. Anthony James Heap. Neil Derek Hunter. Robert Charles Love. Lisa Simpson. Jason Dominic Wood.
To be presented by Professor Watson.
Mr. Pro Vice-Chancellor, I present to you for the degree of Doctor of Philosophy, Kurt Justin Baldwin. David Kenneth Vick. Graham Brian Bishko. Michael David Enderby. Anna Claire Middleton. Howard Simon Sands. Mark James Williamson.
The degree of Master of Science to be presented by Professor Wren.
Mr. Pro Vice-Chancellor, I present to you for the degree of Master of Science in Computer Studies, Andrew Charles Bailey. For the degree of Master of Science in Vision, Visualization and Virtual Environments, Zhen Sun.
The degree of Master of Physics to be presented by Professor Watson.
Mr. Pro Vice-Chancellor, I present to you for the degree of Master of Physics in Physics, Gary Peter Hughes. Francisco Manzano. James William Moulton. Peter Francis Sheridan. Edward Richard George Sprotsky. For the degree of Master of Physics in Physics with Astrophysics, Graham Dudley Cook. Ravinderjeet Singh Lali. Simon Christopher Smith. Simon David Walker. And for the degree of Master of Physics in Physics with Electronics and Instrumentation, Christopher Gell.
The degree of Bachelor of Science to be presented by Professor Wren.
Mr. Pro-Vice-Chancellor, I present to you for the degree of Bachelor of Science in Computer Science, Shahid Aziz. Yusuf Bashir. Christina Jadwiga Bogash. Gareth Ian Bottomley. Stephen Brown. Jonathan Michael Carr. David John Conroy. Anthony Oscar James Cooper. Alec Benjamin Coyle. John Michael Dent. Michael Lawrence Garcia. Tom Paul Gerard. Mark Harrison. John Rory Hill. Timothy James Hooker. Darren Andrew Leonard. Richard Lewis Jones. Mark Anthony Lyson. Paul McBee. Ian Masters. Rory John McCarthy. Ross Ian McQuannell. Graham Adam Methven. Richard Mark Millward. Kieran Moore. Paul Robert James Morris Monroe. Andrew Philip Mountford. Michael Pinder. Nicholas Fraser Porthouse. Alan Eric Gordon Robinson. Andrew Mark Russell. Barbara Mary Smith. Kevin George Smith. Lucas Obello. Philip Donald Stewart. Andrew Thomas Frederick Taylor. Gareth Mark Thomas. Brian Turner. Carl Vibert. Lee Richard Walker. Simon Warburton. Christopher James Ward. Matthew Philip Watson. David Wincheffel. Andrew Dennis Woods. For the degree of Bachelor of Science in Computer Science with Industrial Placement, Matthew Wayne Evans. Mark Thomas Griffin. Joseph Matthew Aldack. Brian Stewart. Robert Wilson. For the degree of Bachelor of Science in Computer Science with Artificial Intelligence, Jonathan Paul White. For the degree of Bachelor of Science in Computer Science with Operational Research, Boon Ki Clifford Kyong. Xiuling Rachel Lee. For the degree of Bachelor of Science in Information Systems, James Vincent Aylman. Imran Azam. Jeremy Birtwistle. Graham Andrew Blenkinsop. Christopher John Blunt. Mark Simon Brickle. Roland Brown. Graham Paul Carr. Simon Edwin Chandler. John Peter Duckworth. Paul Duckworth, sorry. Simon Frankland. Shaminder Singh Gill. Matthew James Griffiths. Nicole Chantal Haggerty. John Anthony Harris. David Allen Hill. Claire Bernadette Hoban. Alec Peter Manley. Richard John Moores. Ian Morris. Andrew Ryan Nichols. David Lee Palmer. David Victor Partner. Paul Anthony Patrick. Daniel John Treasure. James Edward Thomas Wilbraham. Simon Ian Wilson. For the degree of Bachelor of Science in Information Systems with Industrial Placement, Daniel Gross. Richard Anthony Moffat. Stephen George Richardson. Adrian William Spender. For the degree of Bachelor of Science in Information Systems with Artificial Intelligence, Nicholas Durnell. John Robert Elliott. Samantha Jane Henderson. For the degree of Bachelor of Science in Information Systems with Decision Support, Janine Louise Marsden. Mark Thomas White.
To be presented by Professor Watson.
Mr. Pro-Vice-Chancellor, I present to you for the degree of Bachelor of Science in Physics, Daniel Andrews. Elizabeth Emma Bowen. Sally Cockerton. Gareth Dickinson. Catherine Melissa Hall. Alison Judith Lambert. Nathan Christopher Lewis. Maria Perez. Michael David Cooley. Peter Daniel Richardson. Damien Stewart Saunders. Paul Damien Sylvester. Ingrid Tesmer. Christopher Simon Worthington. For the degree of Bachelor of Science in Physics European, Shireen Jones. Stephen Paul Robbins. Carol Jo Whiting. David James York. For the degree of BSc in Physics with Astrophysics, Joanna Louise Gold. Benjamin William Grant. Matthew James Harper. Stuart Paul Hill. Celestine Jane Hyde. Catherine Elizabeth Irvine. Richard Matthew Jennings. Damien John Jones. Jonathan Paul Lewis. Matthew Peter Moss. Hazel Ord. Jonathan Craig Pointer. Michael Perkart. Jason Lewis Renahan. Christopher Robinson. Waqaz Amar Shah. For the degree of BSc in Physics with Astrophysics European, Terry Joanne Claire Abbott. Jim Davis. Suzanne Denley. Andrew James Dobson. Jeffrey Stewart Rayner. James Andrew Smith. For the degree of Bachelor of Science in Physics with Electronics and Instrumentation, Christopher Francis Bateman. Veronique Fur.
I call upon the registrar to announce the award of prizes.
The following prizes have been awarded in the School of Computer Studies. The Beckley Prize in Computer Studies, Nicholas Durnell and Richard Mark Millward. The Cook Prize in Computer Studies, Shu Ling Rachel Lee. The Ford Prize in Computer Studies, Matthew Wayne Evans. The Hillen Prize in Computer Studies, Anthony Oscar James Cooper. Hutchinson Prizes in Computer Studies, Robert William Mile, Neil Rank and Stephen Ian Walker. In the Department of Physics and Astronomy, the Stoner Prize to Alison Judith Lambert, the Whittington Prize to Christopher Francis Bateman, the Derek Moody Prize to Benjamin Thomas Scott, the Graham C. Hallam Prize to Charles James McKinnon and Howard John Price, and a City and Guilds Licentiate has been awarded to Christopher Francis Bateman.
I declare this congregation closed.